Thank you for joining the Asheville Rise Stronger Together podcast. This is your host, Jessica Knupp with the Asheville Area Chamber of Commerce. I hope you enjoy today's episode. All right, today we are here with Lindsey DiMartino with Asheville Charcuterie. Lindsey, tell us a little bit about how you got started, what kind of made you decide to get in this business?
Yes. So it was 2021. So kind of like in the midst of like COVID-ish.
Yeah.
I had been obviously furloughed, like a bunch of us had. I'd been working at, of all places, I was a manager up at Gold's Gym and decided that I didn't want to go back to that after COVID. I had a really good time with my daughter. She was, I guess at that point, kind of 5, 6 at the time, just
Nice.
starting out kindergarten.
Yeah.
So all that time with her really made me think, do I really want to go back to corporate sales? And then like a lot of us, we just sat there Pinteresting for quite a bit of time.
Yes. We have plenty of time on our hands.
Plenty of time on our hands. So I was like, I could do this. And Asheville doesn't really have, we had a couple of things that were very similar, but nothing like I wanted to kind of start. So I was like, let's just do it and see what happens. So
So, I mean, I follow you on Instagram and
Thank
social
you.
media. Yes, and we're a huge fan here at the Chamber. So, like, how did that look, getting your business model, like, started?
Oof. So I had no idea what I was doing. And I tell people all the time that I still really don't know what I'm doing. Everything is kind of a, flying by the seat of my pants kind of situation, which I would not recommend to anybody starting a small business. Definitely has been a learning curve for the past couple of years. But essentially what I did was I just Googled a lot. I didn't really have anybody to kind of guide me through it. Both of my parents have owned their own businesses or their own business for, over 30 years. So it was a little bit, they're opticians, so way different field, but similar in the way that how the structure should work. So that helped a lot.
What made you pick charcuterie?
Well, my family's very Italian. My mom has been making antipasti boards for my whole entire life and well beyond that. So I just love cheese. I love the idea of getting together and sitting around, and really any type of food, but just when people can gather, they can eat good food, they can sit around a table. It's not a full meal, but a little snack, which is perfect.
Yeah. Oh, you have the little, we'll get to that later, but you have.
Yeah, we have everything, little cups. But yeah, so it's just, I'm not a huge cook. I do like arranging things. For me, it's more of a, like when somebody does like a puzzle or when somebody colors, it takes me out of, it takes me out of my headspace for a little bit. And it calms me down just being in the kitchen, being able to create beautiful things. So I wanted a job that did that instead of gave me anxiety.
Right.
So, not that I don't still have it every once in a while,
Right.
but a nice calm job that I know that when I get in the kitchen, I feel safe and happy and relaxed.
Right. Well, and it's just a beautiful arrangement
Thank
and
you.
everything. What about like your leadership? Because I know, like, as it's grown,
Yes.
you have staff and you have a location.
Yes. So we started out in 2021. Obviously, it was just me. We started out in a commercial kitchen, actually below Mountain Madre downtown, at a place called Reverie. The loveliest ladies that I could even, talk about. They're wonderful. If it wasn't for them and me finding their kitchen space, I would not have grown the way I did. They're just both absolutely wonderful and supported me 100%. Didn't have really any staff at that point. Decided to move into another commercial space downtown, just me. Moved with one staff at that time, and it was just me and my best friend Carrie. And she was so significant in helping me grow my business. That commercial space didn't really get off the ground. We tried to build out a kitchen. That didn't really work out. Had a lot of problems with that. So we were there for 2 years, kind of like an in-between. We couldn't get out of our lease, which we all know is just the worst.
Yeah.
But it was what it was. Taught me a lot of things.
Right.
And that's when we found our spot now, right on Page Avenue. And to be honest, it's wonderful.
Oh, it's
wonderful
beautiful.
there. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, the artwork and oh gosh, it's just beautiful.
Oh yeah, Corey, who did the wall, her and her husband, they are the most talented people I've ever seen, and just watching them grow over the past just year and a half, them grow their business and watching their like Instagram posts and all their videos, it's just insane to watch. It's insane.
Yeah, it's just a beautiful space. Like, I mean, we've popped in a couple times and surprised you with a couple things.
I know, I love it.
it.
I love surprises.
You never know where we're going to show up.
Yes.
So that's really, and one of the things that you said, you were like, it was a learning experience. It didn't work, but we figured out a way to kind of reimagine or figure out what you're going to do next, even though in the moment you couldn't get out of what you were doing.
Exactly.
And then it worked out. So
I always try to think positive, that it will work out for the best. I've always been, which is probably the most dumb thing that any small business owner could do, but I started out telling myself that we don't need a small business loan to start this business. So I started this business with $50 in my pocket. I was like, we're going to do it. Still, knock on wood, have yet to get a loan, even though that probably would have catapulted us a whole lot sooner.
Right.
But the growing in the process and being able to know that you worked so hard for what you've gotten,
Right.
and not being that massive amount of debt at the very beginning has been really like a huge thing for us.
Yeah. So how many staff members do you have? Because I know you're still doing like catering type events and
so
you're all over the place.
We're all over the place. We like to have our hands in everything. So right now we have, I guess, 4 staff. One that works a little bit more full-time. The other 3 are more part-time, because I think everybody knows in Asheville that everybody needs at least 2 to 3 jobs to survive here.
Right.
For the most part, especially when you're in a business like ours, which is kind of sporadic, especially with the seasons.
Right. Yeah. So starting kind of in COVID and then going through the hurricane,
which happened 3 weeks after we moved into our space.
Right, I know. We were working on your ribbon cutting.
Yes, we were. It happened
that.
Just after that.
Yes, because I remember dropping the scissors off.
Yep.
And I was like, oh my gosh, like I can't.
This is amazing.
Yeah.
And literally, like I think it was 2.5 weeks. Later.
Yeah. I know. Oh goodness. So you've made it through like 2 major situations.
Just going to continue to knock on wood.
Yes.
Just going to continue. Yeah, I feel, as do our staff, feel very blessed that we are still here. It is just so depressing seeing all these like wonderful businesses shutter and close for no fault of their own.
Right.
That's why I try to be as present on social media as possible, so people know we exist and people know we're here. I don't think that because we don't do a lot of like marketing, very, very, very little. We work with some radio stations, which are wonderful, but for the most part, most of our partnerships are just that. We, barter back and forth, and we do things for each other, which I think is the biggest key in small business that there is, in creating those like we have with you guys, just those small relationships with other businesses and other companies. That's what will drive your business to more success, is what I've learned.
Yeah, and bringing up that community and doing those collaborations, like you already touched on it, it's so important. And even more so in our area, we were already like that prior to the hurricane, but going through something significant as it was, you're always partnering with, I see you doing stuff with Board and Brush.
Oh, I love them, yes.
Yes, Lynette's great. And doing other...
She dropped me off a Christmas gift, and it was the sweetest thing ever. She's the nicest lady.
Yes, she's so sweet. And so having those relationships in the community, I think that probably has helped in the growth as well.
I think I just posted, I think it was yesterday that I just posted, I saw it, the biggest marketing you could do for your business is just being a good person.
Right.
And I was like, that's really true. You could have a great business and a great business model, But if you don't cultivate relationships and you don't work with other people and you don't support them too, I think every other day is me resharing something from another friend's small business.
Right.
We wouldn't be able to survive without each other. Asheville's just too small, and the seasons are just getting longer and longer. In a way that we're almost like a sea shanty town now, where we're shuttered for like half the year.
Yeah.
It used to not be like that. So, especially last year was a huge wrench, and a lot of our small businesses who really got up off the ground, like Day Trip, Potential New Boyfriend, we all started last year. Day Trip, obviously, their second location, but you know, coming off of the hurricane, and we're just breezing through it, you know, but we have each other to support each other.
Which is great. I love that about our area and our community. So, what are some things that I know you said sometimes it's, fly by the seat of your pants, but what are some things that you've learned in starting that you're like either not going to do again or implement or even fostering like other people when they ask you about your business?
So, I will say there's a couple of things I would not do again. But I think the biggest one is really kind of when you already know it's a bad idea to go to partner with somebody, or, when they're like, oh, well, we could really, and I don't really want to sound like this, like as a bad thing, because I think it all starts somewhere, right? But a lot of the times, sometimes you hitch your giddy up to people who don't have the same kind of collaborative efforts as you.
Gotcha.
When people ask us to do something or ask us to be a part of a relationship with them, and a couple of weeks goes by, a month goes by, and you're left with all the work, like all the marketing, everything like that. I've learned that those relationships just typically and really never work out.
Right.
You have to work with people who have the exact same kind of passion as you and who work as hard as you. I mean, December we were working 12, 13, 14-hour days. Right. I know that a lot of my friends in small business, the same, because we know that January through March or April, we have to work so much harder during those busy months to carry us through the others, and to try to carry somebody else's business or, do stuff like that just isn't something that any of us could afford to do anymore.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Well, and it's almost like you need to not interview them, but like you have to do your research.
You do.
You
100%.
Really do. And make sure that you are aligned and that the efforts are going to both be coming equally, because like you said, that it's too much time already that you're doing, and you don't want to hold up.
No, you don't
any longer. Yeah. Is there anything, like any story or any experience or any event that you're just like had that aha moment where you're like, oh, this is amazing, or this is great?
Oh, this is amazing, or this is great. I can think of a lot of ones that were like the total opposite.
I was trying to keep it positive.
Right.
We can talk about those too, but
it's the bad ones that are the best stories, really. We've had, I think, so many collaborations with so many people, and so many clients that are so amazing. To be quite honest, when I sit back and think of the last 5 years and think of the weddings we've done and the business openings we've done, and retirement parties. The best part across all the board of all of that is that we get to be a part of somebody's really important day. Right. Doesn't matter what it is. If it's, you guys doing something for, Venture Asheville and doing something for giving back to the community, or a bride's wedding day. Right. Everything matters. It's good to just be a part of it. It's good to be remembered for something so important.
Oh yeah, and I think people identify, especially, Asheville Charcuterie. I don't know. I feel like you have a look, and you have a feel, and you have a personality. I mean, you really get to know you, and when you're setting things up, I mean, we connected. I know out at Tanger, we were doing a business after hours, and you were there, and you had your to go, or I don't know what you call them. What do you just the
The Grace
The
cups.
Gray's cups.
Yes.
Yes, sorry. And, just setting those up or having them here or after a meeting when they're in the fridge. It's like, hey.
It's so nice for an extra bonus snack.
Yes, a bonus snack. But it's just so clever. But then it's a testament of you as a business owner, your personality. People just, I don't know, you just want to help support, and you're just such a wonderful person, and you're everywhere.
Yes, we try to be everywhere. We try to have our hands in every pot. We try to when I started, I was in the process of getting married, and I was reaching out to all these caterers, and I noticed that when I went on their websites, nobody had their prices posted, and it was a whole big to do and conversation just to get information before we even decided to go with them,
right. That's a lot of work.
So that was one of the big reasons that I even thought of starting something like this, because I was like, I want to be so upfront with how much everything is, with our prices, and so that's why everything is priced online. We're not more expensive for weddings, which a lot of people are. We're not, we don't try to corner the market on being the most expensive, because we're definitely probably in the cheaper side of catering in Asheville. And we don't try to assume that we're the only ones who do what we do, because a lot of wonderful caterers in town now do their own grazing tables. But like you said, we try to be very particular in how ours looks. And there's never any time where I would look at somebody else's and be like, well, that kind of, and it happens sometimes, and you're like, oh, that kind of looks like ours. But if anything, that's just a testament to us doing something very well.
Right.
And that makes me feel better, because there's 90,000 people in Asheville, plus everybody. There is plenty of room for everybody for everything. And if not more than that, supporting each other in the same industry is super important.
Oh, yeah. And we're so collaborative here, too, and really help in that way. When you were talking about the events and your weddings and different things like that, would you say your business is tourism related, local? Or is it 50-50? What does that look like?
So I think it kind of is
depends.
Yeah. So the first maybe 1 or 2 years were definitely more local, just because our Instagram was still very small, and it's still pretty, technically small compared to people who have billions of followers, which I don't even know how they sleep at night, because sometimes even me, I'm like, this is too much. But the first couple of years were definitely more local, because we were posting on Wax and local pages and trying to reach out to anybody that could, and getting our friends and family to, try to talk about us. The next maybe 2 years, year and a half after that was definitely more, we did more advertising on Instagram for outside.
Yeah.
So we had a whole lot more weddings and we love bachelorette parties. They're my favorite. Bachelorette parties. This last year was definitely a whole lot more local, because we could obviously see from the hurricane that there was probably a third of the weddings last year that we did the year before that. So it was amazing to see how the local community came and supported their local businesses. Because if we didn't have that, we would not have survived, because there is still rent to pay. There's still mortgages to pay, So it was wonderful that happened. The continuous support of the people that have been supporting us for years is just wonderful. So ebbs.
Yeah.
Hopefully this year we'll be back to more tourism, and Asheville will grow a little bit back to where it was. Because this year was a little slow, or this last year for all of us, really. Yeah.
Did you see some of the weddings that had to not cancel, but did they come back later? Because I've heard a little bit of mix, depending on what you're doing.
No. Yeah. That weekend we had 3 weddings that we were supposed to do. I actually stayed in a hotel. Because as you know, my shop's 2 blocks away from here. Stayed at a hotel because I didn't know what was going to happen, and I live in Hendersonville, so I wanted to be close. We had already prepped everything. Couldn't get a hold of anybody the next day. One of the brides was staying on the same block with her wedding party. That's where they were staying. They're from Texas. We actually ended up having her wedding at our shop,
Oh.
which was amazing. It was
That
supposed to
kinda
be
gives you
I know, right?
chills.
We had such a good time. They were supposed to get married at Highland Brewing, and obviously they were underwater.
Yeah.
But we ended up having theirs at, actually it was between when Cultivated Cocktails was there.
Mm-hmm.
We had the food in our space, and Cultivated open for the drinks.
Now, were they part of it in the beginning, or
they
no?
were not.
Oh, they
just
were
not.
came together.
Yeah, we just came together.
Wonderful.
And that's how I told her I have one of their old employees who works for me now, because she worked that event with me, and I just fell in love with her immediately.
Yeah.
I was like, you are just amazing to even be here right now. I would also want to be home. But we had their wedding. I think it was like 10 o'clock with a cutoff, because it was still it was a Friday.
Oh,
so it was the day after. I tried to drive home that night, couldn't. The Hendersonville was blocked, and you couldn't get through the interstate. Right. And thank God it was like a place where I could turn around and come back. Couldn't find anywhere for me to stay. Kept walking around. Finally found a hotel, because I was like, I don't want to sleep in my shop on this on this really uncomfortable Amazon couch. So I finally found a hotel, and they didn't have obviously any power. They just had backup, and they didn't have their computers up. And I walk in, and they were like, well, our computers aren't up, but we have a master key, and we're just letting everybody stay for free. And it was amazing. It was amazing. It was great. They didn't have water either, and I could only imagine like the things that they had to do after helping out so many people, because the tourists that were trapped here was insane.
Well, just like
it
your
was
wedding,
crazy.
the wedding from Texas, like here they are from Texas,
exactly, and they were amazing and such good sports, and she looked beautiful, and everybody looked great, and she had the best friends and the most amazing, husband, fiance. Was very supportive. I don't think that any other people could have come together and had a better time, to be quite honest.
Oh, that's great. What a good story.
Mm-hmm.
Well, is there anything else that you would like to share with us, kind of about your business, leadership, anything? I don't know.
I don't know. There's just so many things on the horizon, I feel like, for us that we're still kind of trying to plan. We are definitely going to open up more of like a smaller, I wouldn't say like cafe, but a small bites menu this year.
Oh, nice.
That way people can come in and have like sandwiches and small bites, like build your own charcuterie, which is what we've been trying to implement. This past year, our first year starting, we were trying to do that so much and so hard, but we just couldn't get it together this year with the way that the hurricane panned out for us, and this being our first year open. So this year is going to be the year that we implement a lot of things that we're really excited about. Okay. Definitely something that we're planning and implementing now. So not a lot to say about it yet.
All right. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. We've implemented a lot of new things this year. We're very excited, starting off this year with the same staff as we had last year. And the staff from the year before has been something wonderful. To have staff that, as a small business, we don't have, like I said, full-time staff. They're all on a very much part-time, like, hey, I'll do this event or I'll go to that.
I'm free this time.
And to keep people when their schedules are so sporadic and the hours are so sporadic is just a testament to them as employees.
It's a testament to you as well.
I appreciate that. But I really honestly, and I tell them all the time, I have the best staff that I could ask for. And when I first started, they were all my friends, the staff that I had hired. But now when I hire staff, they become friends. They're not my friends at first. So it's just been an amazing experience to kind of change that up. We're just very small, close-knit. We just have a really good time together.
Oh, that's great. Well, for all of our viewers, how can we find, scheduling events, orders, hours, all the things, social media?
Yes. So most things are on Google and our website. Okay. I say Google because Google has everything. I guess when you Google us, you get our Instagram and our Facebook and so many things. Yeah. But we've already have dates planned for paint nights this year. We have build your own bouquet nights and obviously charcuterie nights. I think this year, last year we did our charcuterie classes in our location. I think we're going to be kind of venturing back to the breweries that we used to go to. We really miss our friends and our partners. I will say I miss a lot of our partners that don't exist now anymore, which is sad. But there's so many new places that we're excited to like work with and get to know and bring more business to their business. And that's what our business has been about from the beginning.
Right.
So.
Yeah, well, that is wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Lindsey,
thank
for
you.
being with us. And we appreciate you so much here at the Chamber and all that you do to feed us at different events.
Thank you.
And have your smiling face and send out recommendations. So, but we really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Oh, thanks, Jess. Appreciate it.
If you enjoyed today's episode, like, comment, and subscribe. To learn more about joining the Asheville Chamber, scan the QR code on your screen or visit ashevillechamber.org. Until next time!